Hello everyone, welcome to this other live stream. And by the way, happy 4th of July to my American friends who are watching this live stream or maybe in replay. Now I'm going to do a quick start because my first pick concerns a game that will take place in 5 minutes. So that will leave you some time to place your bet if you want to. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that I am just sharing my own bets with you, and you are the ultimate decision maker. So I don't want anyone complaining or whining that they lost some bets because of me. Okay, you are 100% responsible for your bets. Okay, I'm just here to share my insight, and you can do what you want with the information. So the first pick concerns the Mets versus Nationals game that takes place in 5 minutes. And in that game, I am opting for the Nationals to win the game straight up. So they are slight home underdogs. That is my pick in that game. Now that you are aware of my pick, I'll take some time to explain some arguments, and maybe that will help you in your decision making process. Well, first of all, Washington qualifies under the comeback betting system that goes like this: bet any team that came back from a deficit of at least 4 runs in their last game if they are facing the same opponent as yesterday and if their money line today is better than minus 175. That means we want to avoid big favorites. It has not turned out to be a profitable bet under such conditions. So, for example, the money line must be minus 160, minus 130, or it could be an underdog. Now, if you take a look, let me share my screen. So, yesterday, you can see that game on the right hand side. The Mets took a 5-0 lead in the top of the fifth inning before the Nationals rallied for a 7-5 victory. So that fits the first condition. The Nationals did come back from a deficit of 4+ runs in their last game. They are facing the Mets once again, and their money line is much, much better than minus 175. So, in other words, the Nationals do qualify under this betting system. Now, I have to admit that this betting angle has not fared super well in recent years. So, I've been tracking every system pick over the past 4 seasons, and the comeback system has generated some losses in 3 of the past 4 years. So far this season, let me show you how it has done. You can see it might be fairly small on your screen, but you can see the 24 bets that we've made according to the comeback betting strategy this year. And so far, we hold a 12 and 12 record. So 12 wins, 12 losses. But that has been enough to rack up a small profit because the average odds, as shown here, have been 2.07 in decimal format. If you are more familiar with American odds, that's the same as plus 107. So, in other words, we took more underdogs than favorites, and yet we posted a 500 record. If you look at the last row here, so by risking 1 unit per game, we would have made a profit of 0.30 unit. So that's a 1.2% ROI. So nothing spectacular, but it's still a profit nonetheless. All right, so here are some other arguments favoring Washington, in my opinion. Jose Quintana starts for the Mets. He's having a pretty difficult season, as shown by his 4.57 ERA, and his whip stat is not too bad, 1.37, which is still higher than the league average of 1.30, but it's not super bad either. He's 35 years old, so he's obviously not getting any younger. He's unlikely to improve. Now, some people may argue that he has not given up a lot of runs lately. And while that is true, well, he hasn't been able to pitch deep into games either. In fact, he has pitched 4 innings or less in 3 of his past 5 outings. So that's not great. As far as Washington is concerned, they will hand the ball to Jake Irvin, who has been rock solid this season. In fact, he has 7 quality starts over his past 8. And in those 7 quality starts, he has surrendered 2 earned runs or less in each of them. His whip stat is 1.06. When you are close to 1, that is deemed to be very, very good. So he's done a superb job. We may also have the revenge factor on our side because the only time that he's faced the Mets in his career was last year on May 14, and in that game, Jake Irvin squandered 6 runs. So he will be extra motivated to get some payback. So again, my first pick goes to the Nationals with the game that is starting as I am talking right now. So you probably still have time to place your bet. As you can see, about an hour ago, the best line I found was plus 102 on the Nationals, which is the same as 2.02 in decimal. I'm not sure if the line has moved since then, but that gives you a good idea of what the line should be right now. All right. I want to say hello to some of my current viewers. XD2 Tone, hello, my friend. Arizona Outdoors, yeah, who says, let's kick some booty. I agree with you. Sean says, happy 4th of July, my friend. Same to you. Arizona Outdoor says, the Mets are so erratic, and unfortunately, I've already put my bet on the Mets. Well, that's okay. Who knows? You might still win your bet. I don't win 100% of my picks, of course, so maybe you will be right on that game. Who knows? Hello to Manuel Vasquez, to Brian Maguire, who thanks me for the live streams. It's really a pleasure. Bill Stokke says Bet Rivers has a 1.97 odds on the Nationals, I'm guessing. And hello to Marianne Woods as well. All right, let's keep rolling with my next pick, which concerns the Orioles versus Mariners game. In that key matchup, we have a system pick, which means that one of my 19 MLB betting systems is recommending to bet one of these teams. But as you saw yesterday, I don't always bet them blindly. Sometimes I go against those systems depending on my take on the matchup. Now, in this case, the betting system that applies is called the stingy pitchers. Let's read the rules together. It recommends to fade the road team if they won their past 2 games by allowing either 0 or 1 run in each of those victories, and if their money line today is smaller than plus 150. All right, so in that game, who's the road team? The Orioles. All right, let's take a look at their recent schedule. Let's go at ESPN.com. As you can see, they did win their last 2 games by allowing 0 and 1 run respectively. So if we follow the rules, then we must fade the Orioles, which would imply that we should bet the Mariners. But you know what? My pick goes to the Orioles anyway. I'm going against the stingy pitchers system. For your information, this is not a great performing system. Over the past 4 years, we have obtained a minus 4.2% ROI. Let me show you again this slide. As you can see at the bottom, I show you the profit plus 26.55 units via 375 bets. In case you have missed some of my earlier videos, the profit shown here corresponds to a 7-year data set that I own, but I developed those betting systems in 2019. And at that time, this is what I observed. But since then, this system has not fared very well, as you can see. So far this year, this system holds a 13 and 14 record. The average odds have been plus 114 in American format. So again, it tends to pick more underdogs and favorites. So it's no surprise that we hold the below 500 record. And in fact, it has been enough to generate a small profit again by risking 1 unit per play on those 27 wagers. You would have earned a profit of plus 0.73 units. All right. Oh, and by the way, I bought this in Barbados, and I want to take this opportunity to say hello to my friends from the Caribbean who may be going some through tough times because of the hurricane. So I know that Barbados has been hit, Grenada. Those are the two countries where that I visited a few months ago. Most of you already know that I love going to the Caribbean. I tend to visit two islands per year, and I go there for 3 or 4 weeks with my family. So it's really great family time. So I hope things will go well in Jamaica as well. I know they are getting hit right now. All right, let's get back to baseball. So as I said, I'm taking the Orioles in this game. The money line about an hour ago was minus 140 in American format, which is roughly 1.71 in decimal. One reason I like this pick, I have to admit, that I love Corbin Burns. I have picked him on several occasions this year and last season, and I tend to pick him at the right moment. He has generated a lot of profit. I don't have specific numbers about this, but have noticed that when I pick Corbin Burns and the Orioles this year or last season with the Brewers, I've had some success. He has faced the Mariners twice in his career and he owns a perfect 2-0 record along with a spectacular 1.59 ERA. Now, overall, Baltimore has won 6 of their past 7 contests, so they are on fire. And meanwhile, Seattle is slumping. They have been defeated in 10 of their past 13 games, and their lead in the AL West division has gone from a 10-game lead to only 2 over Houston. Going back to Corbin Burns, some people may argue that this has no impact on the game. I think it could have an impact personally. So it's okay if you disagree with me. But I think he could be extra motivated following the birth of his twins, Charlotte and Harper, which occurred a few days ago. And I think that could add some extra incentive to do well and to be really focused. Meanwhile, Bryce Miller will start for the Mariners. He's having an okay season. And in 3 appearances in his career against the Orioles, he owns a pretty bad 4.70 ERA. So he's been struggling against that opponent. All right, so that's it for my talk about the Baltimore and Seattle game. If you join later, I want to remind you that I have picked the Nationals as small home underdogs in their game against the Mets that has now started. That's why I quickly told you in this live stream that I was taking Washington so that you would have time to place your own bet if you wanted. And my second pick goes to the Orioles to defeat Seattle. All right, let's go with another pick. I want to say hello to Fred, who says, looks like many systems back the Diamondbacks today. Wow, Fred, you are the man because that's the next game I was about to talk about. Oh, great job, Fred, and I see that you are one of my YouTube members as well. Wow, you are the man, Fred. So up next, I was planning to talk about the Diamondbacks versus Dodgers, and our friend Fred said that Arizona seems to qualify under many betting systems, and he is right. That's why I am opting for the D-backs to pull off the upset against the Dodgers. The highest line that I've observed an hour ago was plus 120 in American format, which is the same as 2.20 in decimal odds. Now let me explain to you which systems are backing the D-backs. First, we have the blowout number one, whose rules are super simple. Bet a team that won its previous game by a margin of 8 plus runs if they are facing the same opponent today. You can see at the bottom how much profit we have made in my 7-year data set. But that does not include the past 4 seasons, by the way. All right, so yesterday, let's take a look at yesterday's scores. The D-backs won by an 8-run margin against the Dodgers, and since they are facing the same opponent, then according to the rules, we must bet Arizona today. Now, I have to admit that this is not necessarily a great system. It has done an okay job in recent years, and the same could be said about the second betting system that is supporting the D-backs, which is called the Big Upset number one. Do you want to know how it works? All right, let's go. Let me show you its rules. All right, so the Big Upset number one recommends betting any team that meets the following three criteria. It must have won its previous game at odds greater than plus 150. Now, yesterday, the D-backs were big underdogs. Their money line was indeed bigger than plus 150. Criterion number two, they must be facing the same opponent. Well, they were playing the Dodgers yesterday, they're playing the Dodgers today. And their money line today must be smaller than plus 125. So, based on historical data, that system works only under such conditions. All right, the bell is ringing. The dogs are barking. I hope it's not disturbing you too much. So indeed, the money line on the D-backs is smaller than plus 125. I just showed you how the highest line I have found thus far is plus 120. So for this reason, we have two betting systems supporting Arizona. But again, I want to remind you that we're talking about two systems that are maybe in the middle of the pack in terms of performance. So among my 19 systems, they are in the middle of the pack. They are not great, they are not bad either. So I'm not going crazy on Arizona. In fact, in case you are wondering, uh, none of the three plays that I told you about today are considered to be premium picks that I share with paid members. Yesterday, I gave one premium pick to you, which was over 4.5 runs to be scored in the first half of the Tigers Twins game, which won. But today, none of them, they are all borderline acceptable. I feel like they are fairly good bets, but they are not among the top or the best bets of the day, in my humble opinion. Hopefully, we're still going to go 3-0 today. That could happen. Who knows? All right, so more arguments that support the D-backs here. Well, Zach Gallen is starting for Arizona. He's a star. His whip stat over the past 3 years has been 0.91, 1.12, and so far this year, 1.07. And remember that when you are close to 1, that is great. Now, there has been 4 outings this year where Zach Gallen pitched at least 6 innings without allowing any run. That's great. Now, he just returned from a hamstring injury, and in his return, he looked very sharp. He only gave up 1 hit. I know that was against the lowly Oakland A's, but still, he did a fantastic job, and you cannot ignore that. He seemed to be in good shape. Now, he has 11 regular season starts in his career against the Dodgers. His record is 1-4, so that looks quite bad, but his ERA stands at 3.48, which is fairly good. Okay, it's not great, but it's not bad either. So I think he can get the job done today against the Dodgers. And meanwhile, rookie Landon Knack will get the nod for the Dodgers. So far this year, he owns a 2.08 ERA, which is mind-boggling. And the question is, can he sustain that level of success? Personally, I highly doubt it. And one thing I like here, and that's a fact that may be underrated among the betting public, is the fact that the D-backs have already faced him. So they kind of know how he pitches, and I think they will do better this time around. So on April 30th, Knack allowed just one earned run in 5 innings of work against Arizona, but I believe the Diamondbacks will be better prepared this time around, and I think they will get to him in today's contest. Now, since Mookie Betts landed on the injured list, the Dodgers have still posted a 9-5 record, which is quite good. Again, you have to wonder, will that continue given his absence? Maybe, maybe not, but obviously that's a big loss for the Dodgers. All right, so far the picks. The Nationals straight up in a game that has already started. I'm curious to see what the score is right now. Let's see how it's going. The score is still tied 0-0 in the top of the second inning. So that's good. When you're betting an underdog, as long as the score is tied, that's a good sign. Up next, I took the Orioles to win straight up in Seattle with my man Corbin Burns on the mound. And finally, I took a second underdog for today. I'm grabbing Arizona to defeat the Dodgers. Hey, by the way, I want to specify something that concerns the YouTube membership. Okay, yesterday I told you about how I set up a bronze, silver, and gold membership on YouTube, and each level gives you some great perks that could help boost your bankroll. Now, here is a very important remark, and thank you to a couple of my followers who pointed that out to me. Well, if you are using an Apple device, you won't be able to join my YouTube membership. Right, let me share my screen. If you go to any of my videos, so this is my video from yesterday, you can see there is a join button here below the screen. Well, if you are using an Apple device, so it could be an iPhone, an iPad, well, apparently this join button is not there. So that's why I was wondering why some people were emailing me asking, where's the join button? I don't see it. Well, that seems to be the issue. But all hope is not lost if you are using an Apple device. If you have a laptop that is not an if it's not an Apple device, of course, you can sign up by using your laptop, and then you'll be able to get my exclusive content on your Apple device without any problem. Or you could ask a friend, a family member to let you use his cell phone or his laptop so that you can sign up, and then after that you will be good to go. Also, if you are wondering, so how will you get the bonus content? So if you go on my channel page, you need to click on the community tab. And this is where the bonus and exclusive content is being shared. So for example, for yesterday, if you are a member of the silver or gold level, you got a free pick on every single game. And if you get the gold status, you get a premium pick every day. And if you sign up for the bronze level, you will get all of my system picks. So all picks that are being supported by at least one of my 19 MLB betting systems, along with a quick comment where I tell you how much I like or dislike the pick. So again, if you are on an Apple device, you won't see the famous join button that usually appears below the screen. So please use another device from a friend or a family member and you will be ready to go. All right, so thank you very much for joining this live stream again. Let's see. So I want to say hello again to Real Deal Prime, who is here, and Justin and Fred Thomas. Thank you so much for joining, guys. So so tomorrow I will make a pre-recorded video, but I will certainly do more live streams next week. So follow my YouTube channel for more details. Thank you very much. Have a good day and best of luck with your bets. And let's finish with our mantra. Let's crush the bookies together. See you guys.